December 29th, 9:43 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, Number 5. Triple dot. Good morning, Max. Triple dot. Max? Milk. What? I don't have a glass of milk before I go on stage. I just can't function, sweetie. Stage? Don't worry, there won't be a stage. All you have to do is sit down. I guess. Nick, Max is really nervous. That's understandable. Hey, my sweeties. What? You don't think I should fly, do you? Huh? You know, you've got to make a good first impression. When I enter the room, maybe you should fly in and warm up the crowd a little. No. We can't be having you flying around the courtroom. Just wouldn't be right. Imagine if you hit someone. Don't worry, Max. Just do what Nick says and everything will be okay. Oh, sweetie. What's it this time, Max? Why don't you try flying into the courtroom? Triple dot. I can see it now. The dashing young lawyer flying fabulously in from above. One glimpse of that, and everyone in the room will be on your side. Max, really, no one needs to fly today. Nick? What's with that look in your eyes? I like the sound of that. Dashing young lawyer, flying fabulously. Oh dear. December 29th, 10 a.m. District Court, Courtroom, Number 2. Oh, I love this courtroom. It's quite good. Oh! And now the case of one... What? Your Honor? Get on with it. Oh, sorry, I just realized that the defendant's name is Billy Bob Johns. So? Well, isn't the defendant also known as Maximilian Galactica? Yes, Your Honor. He does often go by that name. You know, my grandchild is a huge fan of his. I think everyone here wouldn't mind if we call the defendant Maximilian Galactica. It sounds more friendly. I wonder if that is to our advantage. Miss Von Karma, your opening statement, if you please. I want to remind myself of something. T to R, and it's not going to be Billy Bob. Just like, okay. So I thought maybe that's where they were going with that angle, but no. Anyway, opening statement. I hope you didn't bother thinking you would win this one, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Eh? That spirit channeling trial was a sham. I refuse to acknowledge its legitimacy. Doesn't matter. I still won. It did not count. Do you hear me? Yeah, I hear you. I don't agree. She must still be upset about what happened last time. You have no chance. Zero, zilch, and nada. I'm not losing this case. Like you lost the last one. Why, you ask? Because it is not in the nature of Von Karma to lose at anything. Again, the last one does count. Deal with it. I guess being born with the name Von Karma is a free pass to be arrogant and annoying. Watch and learn, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'll show you the textbook procedure for proving how absolutely guilty you are. Me? Guilty? What are you talking about? It will be my ultimate revenge. But it's not like it'll bring her dad back. There, opening statement complete. Now let's hurry and wrap up this waste of time. Very well. You may call your first witness, Miss Von Karma. Detective Dick Gumshoe, get up here. Now! Sorry to keep you from work, as I'm sure you need every penny you can earn, Detective. Don't mention it. It's no trouble at all. I've been looking forward to this. Very well. I would like you to begin by shedding light on the events in question. At your service, sir. All right, detective. You may proceed with your testimony. Details of the events. The night of the crime, snow was falling until 9:40 p.m. Okay, making it extremely cold out. I definitely feel like the snow's going to be a big factor in all of this. It's like it's mentioned at several points now. It's like it's going to be a determining factor in what actually happened, what went down. All of the circus performers were gathered in the big top to practice their routines. The practice session broke up around 10 p.m. Okay, so if it was 9:40 the snow had finished, there's fresh snow everywhere, and I assume there's none after that point. The murder itself took place in the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15 p.m. The victim was found bent over a wooden box, dead as a doornail. The cause of death was blunt force trauma that snapped a vertebrae in his neck. I see. He was beaten to death. I don't know, I wouldn't say beaten to death. Like, the way I'm thinking based on that then is like, that's still that idea of like swinging down from the lamppost to imply flying in through the window. There was a trampoline, wasn't there? In that pile of Moe's rubbish that was just next to the window. So I'm assuming what actually happened is they came flying in using the rope that we saw in the big top, hit the back of the ringmaster into the window, left some prints on the window, didn't realize there was going to be a trampoline in Moe's room, bounced, hit their head on the ceiling, then there's still that rope that's attached to... Okay, right. What I'm thinking then. Rope, like, it's all pre-planned. Rope attached to the leg table in Moe's room, which is also attached to the top of the lampposty thing. They slid down, zip-lined down, basically, hit the back of the ringmaster, then went into Moe's room, left prints on the window, trampoline. If they pre-planned it, they should have known the trampoline was there. Maybe they're just negligent and didn't realize. But trampoline, bang, hit their head on the ceiling, and then brushed off the snow on the ledges to hide the fact they left prints there. Then beyond that, I don't know. Anyway, I see he was beaten to death, apparently. Here is the autopsy report for the victim. The court accept... What? The court accept this into evidence. That's what it says. Autopsy report added to the court record. Time of death, 10:15 p.m. Cause, blunt force trauma to the back of the head. A blunt object. Very well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Let's press and everything, try and get as many details as we can here, because we've not got much to work on with this testimony right now other than the snow. Maybe. I'd like to know details about the box, though, if I can. The night of the crime, snow was falling until 9:40 p.m., making it extremely cold out. Let me ask you about the snow, thank you. It was nearly a blizzard up until the time of the crime. Did it pile up? It wasn't such a big deal, maybe about 1.5 inches was on the ground. The snow froze in place and stayed on the ground until the next day. In case it froze in place, that implies even more that it was brushed off the ledges. The snow. Let me see, there's got to be more to this. Even Pheonix is on this. Huh? Well, what's the matter, Nick? I need to take a look at the court record. Why? Like, the only thing I could think of was the box already there? That's all I'm thinking there. It's like, the snow would have the... It would be on the box? Like, there's no more details than that. I can't see anything. Why the court record? Like, I don't know. The only thing I can think of is the crime photo. Mr. Gumshoe, what were the members of the circus doing on the night of the crime? All of the circus performers were gathered in the big top to practice their routines. When you say all of the circus performers, who do you mean? Everyone but the dancers and staff were there. Regina, the animal tamer, Mo, the clown, Ben, the ventriloquist, and of course, the defendant, Maximilian Galactica, and his victim, the ringmaster. Oh, I almost forgot. Regent the Tiger was there as well. That is what I'm thinking. Out of curiosity, what about the circus monkey? When I was investigating yesterday, he happened to snatch my wristwatch. Detective, you are welcome to file a police report after these proceedings. So that's whose watch it was. The practice session broke up around 10 p.m. After the practice was over, where did everyone head off to? Regina was playing with Regent, while Mo went back to his room, tired from work. Ben the ventriloquist went to the front gate, absorbed in his own world. The ringmaster and Max went off to the ringmaster's room to talk privately. Where's Acro in all this? Talk privately, huh? That's awfully suspicious. You wouldn't happen to know what they were talking about, would you? It seems they were negotiating Max's salary. Actually, Max was asking for Regina's hand in marriage. Yeah, is there any way we can use, like, the court record to... Maybe that? Maybe. Just need an opportunity to do it. The murder itself took place in the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15 p.m. I'd like you to be a bit more specific about the events at 10:15 p.m. Okay, not a problem, pal. We've got a witness that told us how the whole thing... Ow! This is totally meaningless. Time to move on. Okay, so you're gonna call that witness later, I imagine? Alright. We'll just have to revisit that testimony later. Detective Gumshoe, would you mind telling us how the victim met his end? The victim was found bent over a wooden box as a doornail. I want to know about the box now. A wooden box. That's right. The victim must have been carrying the wooden box when he was killed. Carrying the box, huh? It was a rather strange wooden box, Your Honor. What do you mean? Well, it was much heavier than it looked. Not to mention, it was locked. Huh. Locked, you say? The victim was hunched over a 20-pound box. Boasts a small but strong lock. I assume that's pounds. It's one of those things where it's like, being British, it's very, very confusing at times because we use both imperial and metric, depending on the situation. Like, I'd measure it like a piece of furniture, in centimeters and meters, and that all makes sense to me. I understand, like, how tall something is. It's like, oh, that's 78 centimeters? Of course I understand how tall that is. But with a person, it'd be like, oh, that person's like 5'12" inches. And it's very much that case of like, huh. That to me, I can't translate that to meters and centimeters. I just can't. So it's like I have an understanding of all this type of stuff. It's like yeah, it's translating between them is very odd. So it's like, assume that's 20 pounds. What would LB mean? It has to be its weight. It boasts a small but strong lock. Wooden box added to the court record. This may be my only chance, so I might as well ask some questions. Oh, about the wooden box. Can I do them all? Well, I have to come back around. This wooden box. You figure it weighs about 20 pounds, right? Sounds about right. The whole thing is lined with iron. Iron plating. Why do you think it's lined with iron? I figure they just did it to me. Ow! I think we could all do without your guesses, detective. Stick to what little you actually know. Sorry. Suffice to say, the box is really heavy. Much better. You may continue on, Detective. I want to go back. The cause of death was blunt force trauma that snapped a vertebrae in his neck. According to the autopsy report, the murder weapon was a blunt object, correct? You've done your homework, pal. And you haven't found this murder weapon, have you? Police are searching for it as we speak. My theory is that it is something the perpetrator ran off with. You would think so, especially since you didn't find it on the scene. I'm thinking maybe it's that trophy that, was it Phoenix who saw it? In Acro's room? That would make sense to me. If we're thinking like they came down... Maybe I'm thinking wrong with the lamppost, the pole. In terms of that's where it's tied to, this rope that I'm thinking where they slid down into Mo's room. It could just be from Acro's room, couldn't it? From the, there was a tire on a chain. It could be on that, couldn't it? Because this is what I'm thinking so far. It's like, where was Acro in all of this? Like, that's a big question, right? Like, there's a room for Acro. We haven't even spoken to Acro. We don't know where Acro was. So my suspicions are firmly on Acro right now. And it's that case of like, he has stuff in his room he can use to cause blunt force trauma. He's at the right height where he can fly down, I suppose, into Mo's room. He's an acrobat. It's like right there. It's like, And how did the ring end up in his room? You would think so, especially since you didn't find it on the scene. No, I bet. Made it disappear with magic. There wasn't much that we could go after Gumshoe with this time. Gave us the facts as he saw them. But there's got to be more to this. Yeah, I want more in the box. Didn't see anything. That's why you're the lawyer and I'm the medium. Okay, let's get around to that box again. Wooden box. You get to the questions. About the lock. You said the box was locked. How exactly was it locked? Well, it had quite a sturdy lock on it. It took quite a bit to open that bad boy up. So, when you found the box, it was locked, correct? Yes, it was. Some of the forensics team took it back to the precinct to crack it open. I see. Continue, Detective Gumshoe. No, go back to the question. Let's go back around to the wooden box. Wooden box. Alright, now give me the questions. That locked, you say? About the contents, then. Do you mind telling us what was inside the box? Well, when we found the box, it was locked tighter than Fort Knox. So we took it back to the station and cracked it open. All that was inside was this little bottle. Well, I can think there is maybe salt? Bottle? What is that, Detective? Salt for the snow? That'd be weird, though. Exactly what it looks like, Your Honor. It's a condiment bottle. What's inside the bottle? It's filled with pepper. Oh, close. Pepper? Why in the world was it locked in that big box? There was only one little bottle in that huge box. I wonder if that has some sort of special meaning. Small seasoning bottle. Found inside the wooden box the victim was hunched over. It contains pepper. Small seasoning bottle added to the court record. Okay. Well, I think we have a good feel for the details of the event now. I don't. I wanted more. Yes, that's all we're gonna get out of Gumshoe in this case. You mean all we're gonna get out of him is that little bottle of pepper? Now that we have wrapped up with the detective, I'd like to call my next witness. Yeah? Not even off the stand yet. Obviously. But that's due to you being slow and unable to take a hint. I don't know, but wrapped up has such a mean sound to it. I'm a sensitive guy. Get out of here, Detective. Thank you very much, Detective Gumshoe. You may step down. Miss Von Karma, call your next witness. I would like to call Mr. Benjamin Woodman to the stand. She must be talking about Ben the ventriloquist. I wonder if Trilo will show up on the stand as well. I mean, no doubt. Straight away hitting him. Please state your name and occupation for the record. My full name is Trilo Quist. I'm employed as an operatic tenor. Excuse me? The witness called at the stand was one Mr. Benjamin Woodman, ventriloquist. That robe must be cutting off your circulation. I said that I was a singer. Very much thinking right now. Can I get more information out of this? It's like, I'm still thinking back to the first game with that little bit at the end where it's like, we could move stuff around and look at it from different angles and stuff like that. It's like, oh, I'd like to do that with some of this stuff and just investigate things a bit more beyond what we've got here. It's like, no idea on this bottle though. It's gonna be significant, but it's just... how? Like, why the pepper? Why the pepper? I don't know. Maybe you don't believe me. Fine. I'll grace you with a song. Ahem. Me. The world of the law, exciting and daring. Guilt or innocence, decided by a judge dressed up like a woman. Well, what do you think? Had a good rhythm. It's just the lyrics. They leave something to be desired, so to speak. Trilo, you know better than to insult a judge. Shut up. Just look at your nose. You would think you'd have the sense to fix it. It's so ugly I want to punch you in the face. On the off chance, swelling would help. You know that your nose is the reason you'll never be an A-list star. Celebrities must really enjoy seeing everything that flashes into their minds. What's going on here? Order! I demand to know who the witness is. Don't worry about me, sir. I'll let Trilo handle this. I'm not worried about you one bit. Ah! I won't get anywhere trying to figure out this witness. Now let's proceed. What you witnessed. Once practice was over, I left the tent with the clown. Once we got to the lodging house, I ditched him and went back to the plaza's entrance. That's when I saw Max, heading towards the scene of the crime. He was the only one heading that way. How could that punk not be the killer? Then the police showed up and took Magic Boy away. That was it? You saw Maximilian Galactica heading towards the scene? You're sure of that? Without a doubt. He had on his silk hat, cloak, and the dumb white roses on his chest. That doesn't mean anything. Like, that's a costume. Anybody could put that on. We covered that in the previous case, did we not? How can you mistake someone with that crazy getup and his nose stuck up so high? That's enough. I think we all get the picture. Did you see his face, though? Just one thing. You said you ditched the clown. That's right, dress boy. Well, since you weren't with him, couldn't that mean the clown committed the crime? He's got a point. What a shame. It's a nice theory, but the clown can't be the culprit. Why is that? Here's absolute proof. Aha. A silk hat. This was found at the scene of the crime. It belongs to the defendant. Without question, he was wearing his signature hat during practice. If the clown was the murderer, there'd be no reason for this hat to be at the scene. Do we know that there's only one hat? Like, what? Well done, Miss Von Karma. Your prosecutorial skills are unrivaled. Well done. And thank you for stating the obvious. Mr. Phoenix Wright, what do you have to say? Okay, guess she's the boss again today, that's what I was thinking. What you witnessed. Okay. Once practice was over, I left the tent with Clown. Got no issue with that one. Once we got to the lodging house, I ditched him and went back to the plaza's entrance. See, my mind's thinking, why? Why did you do that? Why the plaza's entrance? To do some thinking, of course. It's awfully cold out that night, especially with all the snow around. Wouldn't thinking in your nice warm lodging house have been a better idea? Mr. Phoenix Wright, I think you should leave the thinking to the witness. But I'm a good thunker. At least my teachers always said I was. I want the more... Why? Why? That's when I saw Max heading towards the scene of the crime. Again, how do you know it was Max? All you know was that you saw the costume and anybody could be wearing it. Are you sure it was really Max Galactica? Of course I'm sure. How could you mistake someone wearing such a snobby three-piece getup? Snobby three-piece getup. Get the wax out of your ears, lawyers nowadays. You're like talking to a brick wall. Max is three-piece getup. Jeez, could you be any more dense altogether now? Silk hat, cloak, white roses. Thank you. Okay, I think you should put a little bit more effort into preparing your questions. What? That's... what? What? He was the only one heading that way. Could that punk not be the killer? Again, because... it could be someone else. Come on, Phoenix, I'm hoping on you to get this here. You saw Max and only Max, right, Trilo? That's right. That makes him the killer. There was only one person headed that way that night. Where's Acro in this? That makes quite a bit of sense and makes Max one suspicious character. There's more to this story than meets the eye. There's something amiss in this. First thing, I'm thinking both here. Yeah, there's no proof it was Max. But he's convinced of that. It's like that sort of thing of like, would pursuing that here actually help me over anything else? Like, there is problems, there's definitely problems. But it's like, I've essentially already asked that previously on the last thing, and that didn't result in anything, so it's like, maybe, because that option's there, maybe he saw someone else as well. That's a bit strange, don't you think? What's strange? That you only saw Max. Doesn't it seem like you should have seen someone else as well? What? Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Who else do you suppose the witness could have seen? I can only assume I'm meant to use these, and... you ditched the clown. I suppose you would have seen... the ringmaster. Because he would have been heading to be murdered, essentially. So... that's the victim. That's correct. If Trina was at the entrance to the plaza... oh, music change. He should have seen the ringmaster as well. Obviously, the ringmaster arrived at the scene of the crime before the witness. Could have seen him. Anyone with sense could have figured that out. What are you talking about? The ringmaster and Max went together to the ringmaster's room. Is that according to the defendant? A likely story. No, it's according to Gumshoe's testimony. Doesn't even matter what they were discussing in there. That's according to Gumshoe's testimony. That's where they were. Right? If Maximilian Galactica was supposed to be in the ringmaster's room, why was he just as the witness stated at the scene of the crime? Exactly. Thank you for proving my point. What? Are we just going to ignore Gumshoe's testimony? do you mean, I see. Seems at this stage I have no reason to doubt the witness's testimony. It conflicts with Gumshoe's. And there are clearly no conclusive contradictions. Gumshoe's testimony! He's right. No, he's not. No. Brilliant judgment, Your Honor. Now let's move along with the testimony. What? But... Trilo wouldn't happen to have an ulterior motive for incriminating Max, would he? Well, it's gonna be Regina. Max is part of that bitter love triangle with Regina, which is probably why Max conked him over the head. Nick, wasn't Ben the one who got knocked over the head? Yeah, I think so. I don't know anymore. But, alright, once practice was over, I left the tent with the stooge, Claire. We gone back to the start. Okay. Once we got to the lodging house, I ditched him and went back to the plaza's entrance. That's when I saw Max heading towards the scene of the crime. Was there anyone heading that way? Could that punk not be the killer? That's where we were, wasn't it? Then the police showed up and took the magic boy away. Okay. Trilo wouldn't happen to have an ulterior motive. Alright. Let's get back to, like, who you could have seen. Was that one, wasn't it? Are you sure it was really Max Galactica? Of course I'm sure. Snuppy 3-piece get up. Oh, okay, it's the next one. So Max. Continue with the testimony. I want to present, like, the idea of someone else again. Press on that. Around what time did the police arrive at the scene? Those that would have been around... Hey, what time was it? Huh? I think it was around, I'd say, a bit after 10:30 p.m., I think. Practice ended at 10 p.m., so you hung around the lodging house the entire time. I guess that sounds about right. Wasn't it awfully cold? Can't believe you'd just stand outside in that weather. Well, the truth is... You shut it, you big nose dope. Why are you telling him anything extra? How can't you believe that we'd just stand outside in that weather? Because it was cold. Maybe you were waiting for someone? That's what I wanted, thank you. What? Who said we were waiting for someone? Objection! Mr. Phoenix Wright, we can all do without your offhand theories. Nope, that's how it works. Objection! But this witness, he's cracked under the pressure already. I'm on to something. Mr. Wright? Who do you suppose the witness was waiting for out in the cold that night? Well, if he was planning on trying to propose... Well, if he was waiting outside in the cold, it was for one person. And one person only. He was waiting for the animal tamer, the Regina. He blew it up. You were waiting outside for Regina to come back to the lodging house. Am I mistaken? Is this true? Well, I, can't really ask me that question. Why? Who cares who I was waiting for that night? What's important is what I saw. Don't you forget it. Oh, well, the puppet may be a bit stiff, but he's right. Eh? Alright. There's obviously a reason why the witness was there that night. He spent all that time waiting for Regina to arrive. Moreover, even if someone else would have walked right in front of him, I doubt he would have paid them a second thought. It blew it up again. It's like, the blowing up confused me and I couldn't do the rabble. What did you just say? The witness saw the defendant at the scene of the crime. However, he did not see the victim on the way to his eventual demise. If you accept that, then you must accept there is a high likelihood that he could have missed someone else other than Max. Ow! There's absolutely no proof that the witness was waiting for the animal tamer. I guess you got me. Alright. I'll spill the beans for real this time. It's true. I was waiting for Regina. Pain! Don't volunteer things. Mr. Quist, tell us the truth this time, and I mean the whole truth. Were you or were you not waiting for Regina at the entrance to the lodging house? I was. I was waiting to propose to her. I knew it. You were what? Waiting to propose? Oh, has a puppet ever proposed? But what's the matter? You think that humans have a monopoly on marriage? The matter of puppet marriage is not under review in this case. You're the judge. I mean, look at your horrible outfit. More pain! Thanks to your bumbling, my perfect plan is not so perfect anymore. Now we have to waste time getting to the bottom of some silly proposal by a puppet. Yes, we do. But we shall be doing about that. Yes, we'll be discussing that in the next part. Ta-ta. For now.